What is up, good people? Crypto Prepper here. Today is Wednesday, May 20th, 2026. Today we're looking at a fear and greed index of 39, and we are going to continue our journey down the list on CoinMarketCap to find the best cryptos or chronos CRO Chronos trading bot of 2026. And it is from what I understand, it is the exchange token for crypto.com. So it is available on Coinbase and Kraken, and these bots will work on both Coinbase and Kraken. So let's get to it. All right. So the first thing we will do is we will go to set up our grid bot settings for Chronos USDT on Coinbase. And there you go. So we change the investment to $1,000. And then the next thing we change is we change this from 100 to 50 for, excuse me, grid levels. So what you've seen in these past videos, um, and if you haven't seen them, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and check them out. But when I set up these grid bots, I'll go back a year in time and I will set to do my year back test and I'll measure uh, if I were setting it up that day and measured 70% down and 70% up, and then moved my grid lines to cover that entire area. Okay. And as you can see, it popped up out of that area, but it'll automatically trail up. And then as it trails up, it will it'll eat away at these buy orders under here and immediately buy and put them into sell orders here. So you'll continue making money up. Um, and you'll uh, see what that looks like when I do my back test. Because if you look at this, the current price is like 6 cents, and this grid bot would have been all the way down to 2 when the price was currently 9 at the time, 1 year ago. And it got up as high as 37, 38. Well, actually, almost 39. So it has since dropped 82%, and it's basically at its lows. Oh man. So over a year, let's see, 2 years. What day is this? November 2024. So it is at its November 27, 23, 2.5 year lows. If you go back to November 7th, 2023, we haven't been any lower than this. So it's pretty major support. And what what I might do if I were setting up a bot on this, I might not go down that far, because if it really goes down that far, that's not going to be good. So, but I'm not currently interested in setting up a, a bot on this coin, but if you are, then I think you probably do pretty well with it. Because as you can see, when I did a back test for at least the last 365 days, it gave me a 15.96% APY. So that is pretty good. Um, and let's look at this. So you can see, and then right back down. But anyway, so you could have had this coin, put $1,000 in this, and now you have $159 in your USDT wallet. Plus, it's continuing to work for you, So, but like I mentioned earlier, if it falls below this current area here where it's at, that's looking at almost 3 year lows, 2.5 year lows. So 15.96 is our baseline to beat. And we easily did that with our DCA bot. We'll go over the settings here in just a second. But first, since I have this back test pulled up, I want to show you what I look for first. Obviously, the APY, 30% is pretty good, especially considering, that this has dropped 80% from its high and it's continued to make you money. So the next thing I look for after that APY is I look for the continuation. So if you're familiar on how we set up these bots, and if you're not, continue watching, and you will be, we have $500 on this line, $250 on this line, $125 on this line. So this bot would still have what, $875 working for you in this bot to continue paying you. Plus, you've already got $300 in your USDC wallet. In this case, I've worked that pair. Okay, so let's go over the settings here and take a look at this. So you can see here my exchange is Coinbase. My pairing is Kronos and USDC. My investment is $1,000. These bots can all scale up higher than that, but you want to start them out with at least 1,000. And if you wanted to, you know, put in 5,000, you could just delete this or highlight this one and then pop in a 5, and it will automatically adjust the following settings for you. But you'll start out with put 1,000 in here, and then for your base order amount, you're going to plug in 31.25. Then averaging orders amount is 968.75. Averaging orders quantity is 5. That's the number of limit orders underneath here. And you can see how they double. We'll get to that in just a second. The space between those is 7.5%. That's the distance between each one of these limit orders there. Then the amount multiplier usually starts about here. You can click and drag that all the way to x2. That gives us our doubling effect. And then the step multiplier is off. Next thing, we go to our take profit and stop loss. We don't use a stop loss, but our take profit price percent change is 5%. And then you want to make sure you click off this pump dump protection. So it will default on under your risk management tab. So you just click that off. That most of the time will give you a better return than leaving it on. Okay, so let's run a back test so you can see I didn't change anything with these settings. And we have 30.8% APY. So the other thing I did was because of course, when I adjust these, I'm looking at, I play around with the averaging order step percent. Usually I don't play around with the take profit, but sometimes I do. And surprisingly, you know, at least it's not intuitive to me. If I take this up to say like 7% and I wanted to, make more money because I wanted to take profit at a higher percentage, it doesn't actually make more money. You can see a 7% take profit actually is not beneficial to your annual APY. It only give me 10%. So if I go down, even if I go down 4, so that's where my starting point is 5, but sometimes if I'm having trouble with these back tests, I will pop it down to like 3, 3.5. But you can see how, at least in the last 365 days, that does not give a better return than 5%. So that's where the Pro account is definitely advantageous because I can run a 365-day back test. But other than that, everything that I'm doing except for that year back test, you can set up with the basic tier on Bitsgap. And if you're interested in um, so getting on to Bitsgap and playing around with it, I do have a referral link in the description that won't cost you any extra, and it will support the channel. And you can do, like I said, you can do all of this stuff with the basic tier, which is as low as $23 a month or $29 a month if you're paying monthly. So, hopefully this helps you in your bot making journey. If you have a favorite, if you want to see more of these, if you like this video, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you don't like this video, give me a thumbs down. If you want to see more of these videos, subscribe to the channel. And if you have a favorite coin, leave it for me in the comments, and I'll run a bot for you. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.